We're live from our studios here at number 35 John Hammond Street in Accra. Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. The bulletin is also live from all our social media platforms at 3FM 927, also on 3news.com. Coming up this afternoon, presidential candidates in the December 7 elections to sign peace pact later this afternoon with 9 days to the crucial elections. Also coming up, President Kufuor touts Vice President Dr. Baumia as flag bearer with transformative ideas, and the Electoral Commission announces reforms to decongest collation centers across all constituencies in the country, saying it will not allow polling station election materials to be conveyed to the Constitution collation centers. We have details of these stories and a lot more coming to you shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome to the broadcast. Let's start off the afternoon with this. The National Peace Council, they will this afternoon meet political parties and their presidential candidates to sign a peace pact to ensure a peaceful electoral process with only 9 days to the crucial December 7 general elections. The agreement will require the various presidential candidates to commit to maintaining Ghana's peace before, during, and after the polls. The Presidential Peace Pact is the fourth to be signed since the 2012 general election. Now, by signing the pact, political parties and their leaders, they pledge to respect the electoral process, accept the outcome of the elections, and resolve any dispute that may arise through peaceful means. The opposition, the National Democratic Congress, they had given some conditions to be met before they sign this year's peace pact. If you remember, in August, the NDC outlined 6 conditions for its involvement, including the requirement for the President, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief Justice, the National Security Coordinator, and the Attorney General to also sign the same agreement. Well, this year's peace pact is themed Pursuing Peaceful Elections, Non-Violence and Justice. The NDC earlier raised some concerns, as we have rightly mentioned. We'll try and reach Mustafa Gbande, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, on whether or not their demands have been met and whether or not they are this afternoon also going to sign this peace pact. We're talking about election, we're talking about peace. Well, the coalition of civil society organizations against political vigilantism and violence extremism, they've called on the Electoral Commission to act with utmost integrity, transparency and impartiality to protect the sanctity of Ghana's democracy. With some 9 days remaining to the elections, the group urged the EC to ensure transparent and credible elections, adding that any perception of partiality could escalate tensions and potentially lead to violence. Let's have a conversation on the back of this and speak with Eben Kweku Fenuku, who's the chairman of the coalition of CSOs against political vigilantism and violence extremism. Eben, good to have you on the lines. Thank you for speaking with us. We have 9 days to the general elections, a big day in Ghana's democracy. Now, the EC has on countless occasions given it assurances to oversee a free, fair and transparent elections. Why the call on them again?
Good afternoon, Crosby, and good afternoon to your listeners. There is a need for us to call the attention of Electoral Commissioner and the Electoral Commission as a whole to a very crucial election ahead of us and the actions and inactions they are taking at the Commission. As a CSO a coalition, we are quite taken aback. The Electoral Commission, which is having a dent in a way, that you declare the election result 2020 without us, the public, seeing the media people around your declaration. We saw only one microphone before the electoral commissioner to declare election. An election that we declared, 2020 election, we suspected recorded version of the declaration, because the declaration we all listened to in Ghana was in the evening. But the electoral commissioner was greeting us good afternoon, which is a sign that the declaration was earlier on recorded in the absence of the media people. And so we are taken aback that 9 days to, or few days to election, the electoral commission again is trying to gag, in a way gag the media, which is the eye of the public. And of course, if you are talking about the leadership of this country, from the president, the executive, to the judiciary, to come to the parliamentarians, the next people in line are the media people. Why do you want to take them out of this election? Why do you want to guard them? Why do you want to have only selected few people to witness your declaration, to witness your results?
Right.
And we are really, 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 really taken aback. And the reason we are calling on electoral commissioner, they are giving us assurances. But if you are giving us assurances and your actions and inactions are not in tandem with the assurances you are giving the public, then there's a need that we call it our Madam Jane Mensah and the commissioners to avert all kinds of chaos and violence. This is a crucial election, and they should see it as such and make sure that they do the right thing. The media, you are our voices and you are our eyes in our various homes in this crucial election.
Amen. In fairness to the Commission, after they made this announcement and the backlash they've received, the Commission has also responded accordingly. They say that they are engaging with some other stakeholders to find an amicable way or solution to this impasse at the collation centers. I'm sure this reason or this explanation by the Commission is something that sits well with you, doesn't it?
Well, we are not. We will not take that as a solution to the problems we are foreseeing. Because if you go to the typical villages, if you go to the rural areas, I don't think that electoral commission will have to put aside all their busy schedules and be looking for the media and be giving. In fact, we have a lot of scattered radio stations which are serving certain key communities. We have some of the villages, and in fact, they only listen to certain particular, because of network areas, certain particular radio stations. And so if you are gagging or you are trying to select the media, and we are not, the people in such areas are not able to get their media people that represent them from that particular radio station to represent them, then how do they listen? How do they hear the result? How do they follow what is happening in the country?
Very well.
In fact, we have had election all this while. This is the first time we are hearing that the electoral commission want to select their own media people to work.
Right.
They should allow the system to work the way it has run from 92 to today. The media should be allowed their free hands to operate.
Okay.
They should decide to send. In fact, you have myriads of people working under 3FM. You can decide that you are sending 12 people, to different coalition centers. That is your choice.
Right.
So why do you decide? Why do you decide that? Yes, you are going to decide on which media station should cover your election result if you are not hiding anything.
Right. Eben, let's move away briefly from this, and if you could answer briefly for me my next question. With 9 days to the elections, we've already had the two major political parties, the NPP and the NDC. They are trading accusations that their opponent is training thugs or vigilantes to disrupt the electoral process on December 7. Has that information come to your notice, and what steps are you taking in relation to that?
Great. So interestingly, our people on the grounds, we are hopefully by the end of this week, by the weekend, we'll come out with another release in relation to that. Because people on the ground, we are monitoring a lot of things happening around Ashanti region area. We are monitoring a lot of things happening around Volta region. We are monitoring so many things happening around the Bono area. As I speak to you, the core information we have received from the border towns, for example, is that 3 days to the election, the borders they have given directives that the borders should be closed, and they have stationed people around some of the areas to frustrate voters. We have had a very, 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 very insightful, or let me say, a very close. I don't want to release the source of the information. Yeah, but these are some of the things we are hearing, and so we are gathering all our information. Hopefully, by the end of the weekend, we'll be coming out with other releases for Ghanaians to know what fairly is happening in these areas.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Eben Kweku Fenuku, who is the chairman of the Coalition of CSOs Against Political Vigilantism and Violence Extremism there. This is still Midday Live on 3FM 92.7. We're still staying on election-related matters, talking about peace, because dare cause mayhem, and we will deal with you. This afternoon, the National Election Security Task Force has warned that it will not hold any step back in dealing with election offenders. At a crucial meeting with organized labor, the security says it will not allow miscreants to disrupt the peace and stability of the country. Unrelenting and unyielding, the security wants the business community to ensure their members discipline themselves for a peaceful process on December 7th. Christian Yale is joining us for updates. Chris, what more is coming from this engagement? What essentially is the message from this engagement?
Exactly, Crosby. And so, as it is, right now at the Ghana Police Headquarters, we know that the police top hierarchy has been meeting with the business community, talk about the Association of Ghana Industries, talks about GUTA, and all the rest of them. And what has been the message clearly is what we have received from the National Election Security Task Force, which includes a number of security agencies like the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Immigration Service, the Ghana Prison Service. We also have the Ghana National Fire Service, and then the Ghana Armed Forces, who are warning strongly that they are not going to allow miscreants, they are not going to allow election offenders to survive or to thrive. Now, we have a message from the Ghana Immigration Service, for instance, which is assuring that it is going to secure Ghana's borders from allowing people from elsewhere into the country to disrupt the peace of the country. And one interesting thing that stood out really during this engagement is what the Ghana Prison Service said, that their cells are almost full, and so they don't have more rooms to be, accepting new clients or new persons into the various prison wards. And so they are encouraging almost everybody to discipline themselves. But the main message is targeted towards the business community because, as it were, is there is no peace in the country, business activities may not thrive, and there is no peace in the country, the business community will not survive. And so they want the business community to sanction their members to ensure that whatever happens, they are also a major stakeholder who would be affected by the outcome of the election, whether it is positive or negative. So these are the strong warnings that are being issued to the business community who have already accepted and have appreciated this form of collaboration that the police or the security task force is having with them towards the preparation for elections.
Right. Christian, beyond this too, we understand the National Election Security Task Force, they've set up a media center at the police headquarters for the engagement with the media and the public during the December elections. Have you seen this place? Describe to us what the components there are.
Exactly, Crosby. And so we know that this is a tent that has been erected when it comes to the Ghana Police Headquarters, especially the Public Affairs Directorate section. And when you go there, just by the entrance, the main entrance, you see boldly written there, the National Election Security Task Force Press Center. Now, when you enter, you see the whole place filled with a woolen carpet, and then there are standing air conditioners that are fitted in the rooms to ensure that the room is, cold enough or has that room temperature that is suitable for all persons who will be inside. Then the police is telling us that it is going to use that place, which comes with very good lighting system, and it also has a public address system, i.e. speakers and microphones that have been established. There are couch or like you say, those very comfortable chairs that have been placed at various points inside the room. But the room also comes with some windows that allow you some transparent access outside, so you're able to see outside. So it is a very nice place that has been set up, and very coincidentally, today happens to be the very first time that the National Election Security Task Force is using this place to meet election stakeholders, especially the business community. So it will be run throughout the election period, and that will be the main point of information to the media concerning the security watch for the election.
Christian Yali, thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Christian Yali is my colleague updating us on the latest from the National Election Security Task Force there. Well, still on your election command center, the Electoral Commission has announced reforms to decongest collation centers across the country in all constituencies. The commission, which has been working at improving on challenges from the 2020 election, they say that they will not allow polling station election materials to be conveyed to the constituency collation centers. Well, the Director of Training at the Commission, Dr. Sribo Kwaku, says will help decongest the collation centers.
I will say that the most important person during election is the voter. Before, if you want to be a candidate, you should be a voter first. If you are not a voter, you cannot be a candidate. If you are not a voter, you cannot register, join a political party. If you are not a voter, you cannot be a president, you cannot be vice president, you cannot be a minister, you cannot be MP. So the most important person in election is the voter. Even those of us in the electoral commission, we are voters before we became staff of the commission. So as a voter, your responsibility is to go and cast one ballot. Only one ballot. You don't have to stop anybody from voting. It happens at times that if it's between spouses, somebody will threaten that I belong to party A. If you're my wife or husband, you belong to party B. If you don't change, there'll be divorce. When you do that, you are not contributing to free elections. Free election means that every stakeholder plays the role without any restrictions, without any intimidation. So you say that the election was not free and fair, but you don't know that you also contributed because you threaten your spouse that if it does this, you will divorce or whatever. If your own children, what you can do is to explain the issues to them, but allow them to take their decisions.
That's the voice of the Director of Training at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sribo Kwaku, speaking, the same, the steps to decongest the collation center, speaking about that subject there. Moving on, President Akufo-Addo has touted his Vice President Dr. Bawumia's flag bearer with transformative ideas, key to propelling the country into the fourth industrial revolution. He campaigned for his vice at Kwawu Prayasu in the eastern region as he embarked on a 2-day tour. The president also expected to commission some projects in the area. Yvonne Nikwe is following the president on his tour. He's joining us with some more update. Yvonne, good to have you on the lines. How has the president tour been in his home region? What has he been saying and what has been the reaction of electorates?
Crosby, the president saw so far so good for him, especially when we didn't know that this is where he hails from. Yesterday he was at Kwawu Prayasu in the late afternoon to meet with the chiefs and people of the area. He simply has been forcing support for his vice president to ensure that he succeeds after him while jabbing the former president. He believes that the vice president has what it takes to rule after him. As I speak to you, the president is engaging the clergy and some chiefs in the capital of the eastern region, Kuforidia. After he's done, he would go commission the Jackson's Park, which has been rehabilitated. Let's hear what he's saying.
One condemning policy for so long, and then they all say, "Wo and how they buy." Now, Yepekandini be Wagana, Yempe be Uchimisana, no, and they say, what should I say? We want people who tell only one truth, not two truths. There are never two truths in this world. There's just one truth. Tell that one truth and stand by it. And only but somebody tell me no SSS flip, flop, flop, flip, flip, flop, flop, flip. When you can be near Ghana, we want somebody who is firm, who knows where he's taking the country, and who will take the country down that road. Free Seniors High School achieved one important development.
That's the voice of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo campaigning for Dr. Bawumia against the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama there. We still have Yvonne Nikwe on the line with us. Yvonne, briefly tell us, what more does the president have to do in the Eastern region?
Well, when he leaves the clergy and she's uncommissioning the project at the Jackson Park, he would move to his hometown, that is Chebi, to speak to his people as well. We do know that in as much as it's the last election year, it's also the last year of his presidency. And so he may want to speak to his people to again vote for his vice president. And so this is what he'll be doing a few hours from now.
Yvonne Nikwe, thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Yvonne Nikwe is our Eastern Regional correspondent speaking with us there. Now, the Western North Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Godwin Okle, has assured its full preparedness despite the delay of the remaining electoral materials for the upcoming December 7 general elections. The director, Godwin Okle, speaking to 3FM correspondent, provided a breakdown of what materials they have received so far.
In fact, in the Western North region, we are prepared. In fact, we are more than prepared, because we have received most of our items. We have received the various forms that we use on election day. We have also received our ballot papers. We have received our voters' registers, and we have checked all of them, and they are in good shape. We have received our BVDs, biometric verification devices, and they are in the hands of the police. On Friday, the district officers will come for them, and then they will send them to their various districts, and then start preparation for the special voting. We have a few other items that we are expecting, and we hope by Friday we shall receive them. So be prepared for the exercises ahead. We have engaged our various officials who assist us in conducting the election, and we are training them, and the training will end by Friday. So after we have finished training them, then on Monday we are going to conduct the special.
That's Godwin Okle speaking there. He's the Western North Regional Director of the Electoral Commission. Now, you know that the various special voting centers, they will be treated as polling centers, making it 1,200 polling centers and 9 special centers, totaling 1,209 voting centers in the Western North region. Right now, the Ghana Mine Workers Union, they've called on the trades unions and the working class to vote for a presidential candidate who respects and defends workers' rights. The union urged workers to support candidates whose policies will create an environment where businesses can thrive. General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, Abdul Mumin Gbana, was speaking at a National Executive Council meeting in Accra.
It is extremely important that the Electoral Commission makes internal dispute management platforms readily available and accessible to all the actors and citizenry by providing a complaint desk at every polling station, as well as channels for providing timely feedback. During this period, we also want to urge the EC to double its monitoring efforts on all media platforms, but more importantly, social media platforms, during this election, in order to timely and effectively deal with any misinformation or disinformation, particularly linked to the work of the EC. To the security agencies, we want to remind you of your oath to the state and to the Constitution, and your inherent duty to protect life and property. You must remember that you are expected to provide security to all Ghanaians and not a select few. You are expected to be an agent of peace and an enabler of democracy, and not to intimidate, bully, and scare innocent citizens away from exercising their franchise.
That's Abdul Mumin Gbana speaking there. Now, a gas station operator has been shot dead by suspected robbers at Ogbodu in the Gomwa East District of the Central Region. The deceased, Martin Otri, was shot by some two men who arrived at the station in a vehicle at around 6:30 on Wednesday. The suspect, according to an eyewitness, fired several rounds of ammunition before targeting the deceased and bolting away with an unspecified amount of cash which was in his pocket. Let's speak with our correspondent, Kwesiado, in the Central Region, joining us from Gomwa East to provide us some update on this very sad development. Kwesiado, thank you for your time with us on the program. What is the latest on this unfortunate incident?
Okay, so the latest is that police in the area have begun investigating into this crime. This morning, a team of criminal investigators from the Ogbodu police station visited the exact spot where the incident happened to acquire first-hand information and to also reconstruct the scene, and then they have pledged that they would do whatever possible to ensure that the perpetrators of this act are being arrested. But residents in this area are calling for security to enhance their locations in the area, because for them, they believe that security has been very low in the area, leading to this unfortunate incident.
I was in the room with my wife, and my wife just shouted at the gas man. The gas man is shouting. He's shouting that maybe something has happened. So I just quickly rush out, and immediately I get there, what happened is I saw the man on the floor. Like it looked like he's bleeding. I don't know what is wrong with him. And I was trying to approach him, and I saw one of the man in front of the man's house. And the person just removed a gun. And what I did is that I was trying to hold the man from the floor. I was trying to pick the man from the floor. And he just shoots the other man shoot the gun. So I immediately shoot the gun, and then I just go down. I just run down and I hold the man's daughter. I hold his hand, and we run from the ground, that place. We run.
About how many minutes?
And that's an eyewitness narrating how this very sad and unfortunate incident happened there. We'll be keeping an eye on this. We'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. Now, before we go this afternoon, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj, has referred Secretary of the National Cathedral Board, Reverend Kwesi Boateng, to the Attorney General for investigations. Shraj wants the AG to investigate allegations of false declaration by Reverend Boateng in obtaining 2 tax identification numbers in 2013 and in 2016. Now, Reverend Kwesi Boateng, also known as Kobna Edujemfi, has been a man at the heart of controversy following allegations of dual identity against his person. Shraj, which was petitioned to investigate him for his dual personality, says the matter raised falls outside its remit, hence a referral to the AG for swift investigations and the necessary action. Let's take you through some arguments made by Shraj, and if you're joining us on Facebook or on the social media platforms, you'll see this. So this says it is noteworthy that the other allegations contained in the complainant's 09 March 2023 letter, which revolve around the 4th respondent allegedly making false statements or declarations in order to obtain 2 tax identification numbers in both 2013 and 2016, are matters outside the mandate areas of the Commission. The Shraj also goes on to say that Shraj, an alleged false declaration by Reverend Kwesi Boateng, that's what we're talking about right now. The Commission is, however, mindful of the fact that making false declarations is a criminal offence as provided under Section 248 and 251 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Accordingly, the Commission is making referral to the Attorney General for this allegation for investigations and the necessary actions. That's according to the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice there. And that's how we wrap up on the midday news on 3FM 92.7. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. Business News is up next with Michael Ogbodu. Good afternoon.
And hello there, good afternoon, welcome to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7 with me, Michael Ogbodu. Coming up, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam reveals Ghana's macroeconomic stability is on track ahead of the 2024 general elections.
Is getting stronger and stronger by the day. Macroeconomic stability is returning faster.
And Springfield confirms promising oil discovery at Afina well, strengthening Ghana's growing reputation of oil and in the oil and gas industry.
Afina 1X is a vertical well. We are confident that a horizontal well or other well options that maximize reservoir exposure in the fields will deliver much higher production rates.
Meanwhile, Jubilee oil field production declines marginally due to challenges with some wells. We'll bring you details of Tullow Oil's November 2024 trading updates. I am Michael Ogbodu. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Please stay. Well, let's bring you our top story now. And Ghana's macroeconomic stability is rebounding faster than anticipated as the year draws to a close, according to Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. According to him, this is a result of the recovery to policy measures and the ongoing IMF bailout program. He has therefore assured Ghanaians of improved fiscal discipline ahead of the 2024 elections.
The strong collaboration between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana have been instrumental in steering our economy out of the crisis we faced. Indeed, we must recognize that our nation is strongest when we each draw from our strengths and meet our responsibilities with a commitment to leave a legacy beyond our time in public service. And based on this collaboration with the bank, I can report that the economy is getting stronger and stronger by the day. Macroeconomic stability is returning faster. Growth has exceeded targets, and you've invested heavily in infrastructure and human development. And we also know that the banks are posting strong, impressive performance across key financial ratios.
So that was Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam speaking there. Now, Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Quartey, has called for deliberate efforts to formalize Ghana's vast informal sector as a means to boost tax revenue and foster sustainable economic growth. Speaking to 3 Business, he stressed that while formalization is key to expanding the tax net, it must be accompanied by government-led support programs to help businesses in the sector thrive and contribute meaningfully to the economy.
We have to formalize the informal sector, but to some extent, there are certain aspects of the informal sector you cannot. Certainly there will be some portion of the informal sector that we just have to find a way of perhaps bringing them together into cooperatives, etc., so we can engage them. But yes, it is a way to do. Digitalize as much as you can so that we're able to be able to tax them, but also the benefit. You shouldn't always be bringing them together to tax them, but what benefit do they derive? If there is a loan, a government support program, how do we ensure that when you have roped them in, they also benefit? If there is a training, how do they benefit? Those are the things we should be talking about.
So that was Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Quartey speaking. Now, away from that, wholly Ghanaian-owned oil firm Springfield Exploration and Production Limited, alongside its partners GNPC and GNPC Exploco, has successfully tested their Afina 1X oil well, originally drilled in 2019 in Ghana's deep waters. According to Chief Executive Kelvin Autry, this success strengthens Ghana's growing reputation in the oil and gas industry.
Springfield Exploration and Production Limited, alongside its partners GNPC and GNPC Exploco, has successfully tested the Afina 1X oil well, originally drilled in 2019 in Ghana's deep waters. The tests confirmed the presence of quality oil, producing up to 4,500 barrels per day. Gas reserves in the same area also showed strong potential.
Springfield's chief executive, Kevin Autry, expressed excitement about the results, noting that further work could lead to even higher production.
With the results of our appraisal program, which has further confirmed our understanding of our geological, geophysical, and reservoir models, and has demonstrated our operational capacity. Afina 1X is a vertical well. We are confident that a horizontal well or other well options that maximize reservoir exposure in the fields will deliver much higher production rates.
This milestone makes Springfield the first Ghanaian company to successfully operate in a deep water project and discover hydrocarbons. The company says this success strengthens Ghana's growing reputation in the oil and gas industry.
That was a report on wholly Ghanaian-owned oil firm Springfield Exploration and Production Limited confirming promising oil discovery at the Afina well. Meanwhile, Tullow Oil's November 2024 trading update released today, November 28, has revealed that production on Ghana's Jubilee oil field slowed to 89,000 barrels per day by the end of October 2024, slightly down from the 90,000 recorded in July. The oil exploration company attributed the decline to operational challenges on some wells within the Jubilee field. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more. In the report, Tullow explained that production fell short of expectations due to the underperformance of J69P well, an issue previously flagged. The company also pointed to unplanned downtime at the Ghana Gas Company's onshore gas processing plant and reduced water injection caused by power outages as factors impacting production. Despite the setback, Tullow Oil expressed optimism that measures already implemented alongside ongoing production enhancement activities would help reverse the declines in the second half of 2024. Additionally, Tullow announced plans to deploy a 4D seismic program in Ghana starting January 2025. The initiative is expected to provide critical data for optimizing well locations and advancing future drilling programs. Tullow Oil also highlighted overdue payments from the government of Ghana amounting to $40 million for gas supplied from the Jubilee and 10 fields. The company noted that resolving this debt would significantly enhance its financial position by year-end. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Before we leave you, the total value of secured loans granted by banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions in the third quarter of 2024 rose to 5.6 billion cedis. This represents a 2.8% year-on-year increase relative to the 5.5 billion Ghana cedis recorded in the third quarter of 2024. These are according to latest data from the collateral registry of the Bank of Ghana. Banks accounted for 3.5 billion cedis of the total value of secured loans in the third quarter of 2024, depicting a decrease of 18.7% from the 4.3 billion in the third quarter of 2023. On that note, that'll be all for today's edition of Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please visit our website at 3news.com/business. I am Michael Ogbodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.